And then Phil Collins came in and bought a Donald Duck.
Did he pay for it cash or did he put it on the bill?
I think.
Hey everybody, it's John Lamilton here alongside my good friend and business partner, Mr. Jason Brockman. We are here for another episode of the Ambitious Lifestyle Business Podcast, where as always, it is our job to help you get more customers and make more money without just working harder. So without further ado, let's dive straight into this month's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Ambitious Lifestyle Business Podcast. Today we are joined by 1%er Martin Ross, who helps people visit some of the best places in the world. Now, Martin has lived in France for about 9 years now, and his claim to fame is that he once wrapped up a Donald Duck toy for Mr. Phil Collins. Martin, I don't think I've ever introduced anyone to the podcast in quite that way. So, Donald Duck, Phil Collins, living in France. Where do we start there?
Well, I mean, if you can't guess, I worked at Disneyland Paris for a few years, and I worked if you've ever been to Disney, I used to work in Disney Village, and then because it was the second biggest store, we would always get asked if like one of the other stores was like low on staff for the day. They'd always kind of ask us, because we always had like extra people, can we have someone? And I'd always put my hand up because it was 20 minutes going to go and get changed out of what I'm wearing. 15 minutes to then walk across to the other place, 20 minutes to go and get changed into where. By that time, I've wasted an hour. And then you kind of like go around and that. So I ended up working in Disneyland Hotel, which is the big pink one at the front of the of that. And obviously being English, working there, there's not a huge amount of people that work there who are English, who either aren't high up management or work in the parade. So whenever anyone famous, whatever, comes in who could speak English, you were always pushed out to go and serve them at that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. And then Phil Collins came in and bought a Donald Duck. And I said, oh, is this for you? And he said, no, it's for one of his kids. And I said, do you want me to wrap it up for you as well? Is it a gift? Do you want me to wrap it up? And he went, yeah, go on then. So wrapped it up. He was very nice. Very nice guy.
What a claim to fame.
Well, thinking about it now, I don't know if it's because his daughter is the Emily in Paris girl, isn't it? The Lily Collins. I don't know if it was her that I have wrapped up something. The connection of Paris all coming back. So I've wrapped up a Donald Duck in Paris for Emily in Paris before she was Emily in Paris.
Well, it's out there now on the internet. So one of our AOB listeners, I'm sure, will help solve this riddle.
Yeah.
Emily, if you're listening, please do get in touch. Martin would like his Donald Duck back.
He paid for it.
Did he pay for it cash or did he put it on the bill?
I think. Very good.
Anyway, we're not here to talk Donald Duck, Phil Collins, or Emily in Paris. We're here to talk about ambitious lifestyle businesses. And there will be many people listening to this, Martin, thinking, oh, great, it's you get paid to travel the world. You're hobnobbing with the shortest drummers in the world. You're living in France. You're living the dream. Was life always like this for you?
No. So this is my second time living in France. I lived in France 2004. I moved over and then moved back in 2007. Then moved back in 2018. So how many years is that? That is 11 years back in the UK. And then I worked I did a little bit of working in travel, but I was working mainly for, as you can tell, I worked for Virgin Active Health Clubs for 7 years, which is very good because at the time the philosophy was kind of like my kind of philosophy. It was meant to be a health club that was for everyone to be able to use. It was for families to be able to go to, that creches and kids clubs and things. And it was for, it doesn't matter what you look like, what your goals is, anyone can go to this thing. By the time I kind of left, it became very kind of like, it's really only for people who want to do triathlons. And like, there aren't that many people in the world that want to do a triathlon. You're really messing up your margins and things like that. But anyway, so I worked for them, which is great. Kind of like, the Virgin company is a very fun company to work for. I got tickets to V-Fest one year, which is great because we actually had proper toilets as opposed to we had nice toilets. So I was really thankful for that. And I've never been to a festival before, or since, to be fair. So that was good. And then I'd worked a little bit in travel. But then the company went bankrupt, and so I then ended up going back to work for Virgin for another couple of years. I'm moving around the country. I'm pretty much the only one of the ones in the, because I was in the Southwest kind of region. Pretty much the only one I haven't been to the Southwest region is the one in Plymouth.
Oh, wow.
So out of all the other ones, I've been to all the other ones, but apart from that one, so I haven't been to the Devonshire. But I used to know, obviously, the people who were based down there. Yeah. So then in 2017, is that right? Yeah, 2017. I'd heard of this company called Travel Counsellors, and that it was you basically buy into a franchise, and then you become, you get all the training, and people might see some of the other ones that people do online, which is basically a glorified Tupperware party, sort of like selling people holidays whilst doing your ironing and things like that. But this was actually a proper business, and I wanted to get into it, and so I'd had the money sort of set to one side to set up, and then kind of go for 6-7 months without earning any money. And I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a go. Went up and did my 2 weeks of training, and then basically let loose onto the world. And then that's basically where you kind of have to sink or swim. It was almost the kind of thing I was saying before we sort of started, that now I'm concentrating, and what I want to do is just concentrate purely on getting leads and marketing, and then have other people to do it. But at the beginning, you have to do everything. And then, to learn how the industry works, and learn how even just the systems, how to put things together. And then you've got to go out and find people as well. It's kind of quite daunting. And I think a lot of people will fall apart at the beginning. But I kind of liked the idea of working from home and working with I liked. So I thought, since now I don't think I could ever go back to clocking in and working at a certain time, or I don't want to say being responsible, but having a boss who's sort of like saying, why didn't you do this, or whatever. But then I've also got the safety net of, I've got a massive head office based up in Manchester. So for example, if someone's plane gets delayed or whatever, they just ring to the office and they sort that all out for me, and all the paperwork and the VAT and the admin is all done for me, which leaves me the time to basically book people and do marketing, which is good.
I want to just explore that just a little bit more, if that's okay. So you joined an industry that you're not that au fait with. You had lots to learn. There was lots of things to do there. And that's similar for many people who go into their own businesses. There is an awful steep learning curve. How did you manage to get yourself through that period of time where actually that overwhelm is enough there just to go, let me out of this jungle?
I think one of my friends said something. I came back off my training and I was talking to one of my friends, and I said, "Oh, there's a really good deal. Like they do it. P&O do this really good thing every year. It's just £999 back 2017, £999 for 2 weeks Caribbean cruise, including flights." And he went, "I no idea. Is that a good price or a bad price? I have no idea." And it kind of like clicked and went, just because I think something's good or bad or whatever, that's just my opinion of it. And then it's like about educating people. So it was my kind of like tried to make it my goal as you make it as easy for people as possible without them kind of having to think about it, and then find things that you are kind of good at. And try, at the beginning, you try trying to, you're booking anyone to anything and things like that. So you're booking whatever. But then after a while, you try and make it a bit more niche as to what you are good at. And I've always kind of found that I'm reasonably kind of quite good at talking to people anyway, and I do waffle on. So after a while, I think people just give up and just kind of like go, "Oh yeah, it's fine. He's talked too much. This is a book." But yeah, it's a steep learning curve because you're thinking, right, one, what they're asking for, is this possible? Because I see a lot of people make this mistake of, someone's come to me and said they want to go to the Caribbean for 10 weeks and they've got £1,000 budget and things like that. And I go, sometimes you just have to be blunt with people, and people appreciate that. If you just say, what you're looking for, either it doesn't exist or it's going to be terrible. And we don't sell terrible holidays. So if you want that, I'm sure you can go and book it somewhere. I'm not going to book it for you because I don't want you coming back to me and saying you should have told me. And what I say now is, we're not order takers, we're not Argos, we're not Amazon. Come to me with an idea of what you want. We're going to find actually what you want, and make it tailor-made, as opposed to just, we found this TUI hotel. Well, you can book a TUI holiday online, nice and easy. 99% of the time, it's not going to go wrong. Don't really need my help that much. But, trekking around Asia or South America or something like that, yeah, it's probably when you're going to need someone a bit more help.
You found that niche quite well, haven't you? Because I know we mentioned, obviously, we opened up this conversation with Disney, and you've become kind of the Orlando guru, haven't you, over the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's the thing is, if you're selling something that you really like yourself, it becomes a lot easier to sort of talk to people, and then you also don't get caught out as well. If I kind of was talking about, I've never been to Australia, never really had and I know people bang on about Australia. I've it's never been a place that's ever interested me to go to. So I have booked people to Australia, but we work with a company that's based in Australia, and I basically get them to do all the work for me because they're the experts. Whereas with Orlando, I wouldn't do that. I know, there's 450 old hotels there. Well, good luck trying to find the one that's right for you. If you've never been there before, people don't realize how big it is, how much there is to do, etc. I mean, I just this year I've been, in the last 15 months, I've been 5 times. Okay, once was paid for by Disney, and the rest of the times were the work trips. So,
R&D, we'll call it.
Yeah. The tax man's listening, definitely work trips. But to be able to kind of do something where you kind of where you are sort of talking to people about going on these trips of a lifetime, or meant to be once in a lifetime, but end up going quite a few times. But it's something really nice, as opposed to we want to go to an all-inclusive hotel in the Caribbean. We're not really fussed about something. I can't get that passionate about that, whereas I can do about that and about cruises as well. So it's kind of good that I've found sort of 2 things that I can do, and some people even do both. They do go to Orlando and they do a cruise at the same time. So then I can combine the 2 things together, which is even better.
And one of the things I really enjoy, because we have conversations every week or every 2 weeks or something like that, isn't it? We have our one-to-ones. And one of the things I like is actually having come back from Orlando, for example, you've got a massive content pool that you've recorded whilst you've been there, photos and things like that. So actually, you're just generating content on these work trips, which is great, because you must have discs upon discs of information and video and whatnot ready to fall upon and to kind of use it in a heartbeat, really, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I've got. I had a look on the because it's got a little hard drive, and on the hard drive there's over 10,000 videos, which are literally just me going left, right, push forwards, pull back, or something. But I can tell, the ones that I did a year ago compared to what I did 6 weeks ago, in September, that they look much better. They're much more smooth. They kind of they flow kind of a lot better, and that. So when I'm then putting together stuff, I then search for the videos by date and go, right, ignore the ones from last May, and when you can use the ones from this. And it's just great, really easy, because it means that no matter what the subject is, realistically, I've probably got a video of me going left or right or pushing into it or backwards that I can then use, which is great. It makes it so much easier. Obviously, if I lived in Orlando, I'd do it the proper way, and I'd write a script out and then go and film the bits that I then need. But I don't live in Orlando.
But that's the point, is you can go to Orlando and you can just think, right, what might I need? What could I create here? Which was a great excuse. I think we saw a video from you a couple of months ago now, and it happened to mention eating. And how many different videos of you eating things did we see on that video?
There's literally the people that I go with get fed up, because I go, every time I buy something, they go, I've got to film this, haven't I? They go, yeah. So I kind of, because last time I was there for I ended up being there for 22 days because there was a hurricane on the last day, so I didn't fly back. So I was meant to be there for 3 weeks, ended up with an extra night. But for only 9 of those nights I was with people. The rest of the time I had to film myself. Got my little like gimbal and tripod out and like setting it up in the restaurant. I was like, oh, people are going to think I'm weird. But then it's Disney World, to be perfectly honest. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's filming themselves doing it. So you don't feel as weird and that. But yeah, there's lots of pictures and I've got like a whole folder of me just eating snacks. And then put my thumb up. So I basically go, oh, yeah.
Got your trademark there.
Yeah, it's kind of handy when you're then kind of like putting a video together about who I am. I've then got lots of videos of me putting so if I'm talking about, because I kind of realised I had about 2 or 3 days on my last trip towards the end. I was like, other than me eating stuff and put my phone, I don't really have any videos. And because I didn't want to do too many talking head videos, I wanted, with just a plain background, I wanted to kind of like focus more on the actual parks and stuff. It's like, well, I kind of need stuff. So I'm literally walking around the parks and the hotels with my gimbal, like waving at myself. and then I worked out that if I hold it and then kind of like push it backwards like that, then I can then make a funky transition into something else. And so the videos are getting a lot better now since September, because there's lots of ones of me kind of waving and then going like that and then turning into something else. So production values have skyrocketed.
Yeah. So is that one of the many 1% improvements that you've picked up over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, like anything, the more you do something, and it's getting those incremental kind of gains, is kind of like the 1% kind of gains. Like if I'd gone from what the videos that I was making like a year ago to now overnight, that would have taken so much brain power would have had to pay thousands of pounds to go on to a training course. But by doing it making the videos 1% better each time, if I suddenly went from where I was like a year ago to where I am now, if I did that overnight, it would have cost me tens of thousands of pounds in sort of training and things like that. But you have to learn it incrementally. You can't learn it all in one go. And I was obviously speaking to Mick in the club, but also my brother-in-law works in TV and film as well. He uses the same sort of Adobe Premiere Pro that I use. So picking up, like he'd just say, oh, I noticed on your video that you did this. Do you know you can do this as well? And maybe also, because I kind of was throwing in the music afterwards as like an afterthought, and it kind of like just randomly stopped halfway through songs and things like that. And then he went, get the sound, do the sound first, and then they add the visuals to it afterwards, and do the visuals as like the last thing, and then just picking up these 1% little gains has made it so much easier and quicker. Like I can sit there, and once I've got a script for a video, and to let you in a trade secret, if I'm not actually on screen, it's not me talking, it's an AI version of me that's talking. It's just so much easier. I can literally sit there and go and write out the script and then do it. And then it gives you like 3 different versions before you use any credits. So I'm like refreshing it going, oh, would I say it like that? No, I don't know. Like, okay, I want to sound a bit more excited in this version. So I get that. And it just means it's a lot easier and quicker for me to be able to then get to the editing stage and putting it all together, as opposed to then setting up something. Because if I'm not actually going to be on screen, it's going to be me talking. I'm going to mumble and fluff my lines so many times that I'm then going to have to edit and cut it out. It's just much easier just to have the whole thing. And it does actually sound like me as well. It kind of is really good.
I can fully vouch for that. I think you once uploaded a podcast into the 1% group, and I think you had comments from people along the lines of, oh yeah, we can all spot the join, because I know that, Martin, you did the introduction, and then it was AI that took over, and you just went, nah, that was all AI.
It was all just me writing it out, which is great as well, because if I then listen back, even though you've read the script, listening back to myself do it, like hearing myself say it, you then kind of like go, oh no, I don't actually like that. I'm gonna change that. So you can then edit kind of like on the go. Whereas if I then came up with something, if I then listened to the edit whilst I was editing it, and then went, I don't like that, I'd have to redo the whole, set up the equipment again and that. So it's not much easier, and then I can get to the actual editing sort of stage. And so that saved me so much time and effort as well, which means you can do more and you can kind of do better kind of stuff and quicker kind of turnarounds, because obviously like YouTube, rewards you if you regularly uploading sort of content. But then also I can take that and I can repurpose. Again, these 1% kind of gains is I can take that 15 minute video about a hotel in Orlando. I can then chop it up into small pieces for social media, but also YouTube Shorts as well, TikTok, that kind of stuff. With AI, again, you can turn the script and then say, right, write me a blog about this. And then you obviously need to edit it and things like that. It's not 100% perfect straight away. But it's about taking something, like you talk about in Evergreen Assets, is taking that one thing and building it out. And then once it's done, because I know that unless that hotel has a massive refurb or gets burnt down or whatever, it's going to be exactly the same hotel, because they haven't changed really. It's pretty much exactly the same hotel. I might need to edit it slightly if they put in a new pool or refurbish the rooms, but pretty much it's going to be exactly the same. And once you've done that for all 25 odd hotels at Disney and 7 at Universal and whatever, I can then go and do other things as well. So it just makes it so much easier having the AI and having the automation but I wouldn't have known that a year ago. It's about getting those 1%, improving it every time and going, well, on the last video I did this, but actually watching it back, because I'm a bit kind of narcissistic like that, is I watch myself back on the video. I'll sometimes watch it whilst I'm on the bus and people behind us be like, he's watching a video of himself. Watching a video of himself in America. And then I go, all right, yeah, next time I should change that. But again, you can't get to being perfect overnight. So not that he's anywhere near perfect, but yeah, those little 1% increases every week, every time you do something, it really adds up. And yeah, I'm looking forward to things being super professionally edited.
So one of the things I really enjoy on our weekly calls or fortnightly, whenever it is I see you kind of thing, is actually there's two themes, and one is better and one is easier. And you're always trying to strive to make that 1% better or 1% easier for your life, so that you can actually continue with that ambition, but actually that doesn't interfere with the lifestyle piece as well, which you're demonstrating there with the use of AI and stuff. But actually that's constantly through all of your processes in the business, and each week you bring something new to go, actually, what does this look like if it was 1% easier, or what does this look like if it was 1% better? And you, above probably many of the 1%ers, are kind of constantly trying to do that for yourself, which is great.
Good, yeah. I like. There's a reason that I live. People say, why do you live in France? And one of the reasons is it's a great lifestyle anyway, and I don't want to be stuck doing 40 hours a week whilst. And all my friends, because a lot of them work in Paris, or a lot of them work at Disney, so they work. That's open 7 days a week, and people can be working late and early and that kind of stuff. So my friends have different days off, and I don't want to be like, oh, well, I've only got Saturday, Sunday off, and that. I want to go like, tomorrow we're taking my friend and her 1-year-old kid into the park in the afternoon. I'm like, well, because I've got those things in place that I didn't have a year ago to make things easier and quicker and better, I can go and do that. I can say, yeah, I'm leaving, finishing at 1:00, and that's fine. I've done what I need to do for the day.
What I really, really love about you, Martin, is just the machine you've built around you. You are, I think we gave you 1% of the month. Was it earlier this year?
February this year, yeah.
There we go. And I think the word I used then was serial implementer. The word that just came to my mind earlier as you were talking was prolific content generator. But you are the sort of person that literally reads a book, follow the instructions, and just implement stuff. But if you think about the machine that you've built around you, okay, 20 years ago, this podcast coming out start of 2025. Take you back to 2005. How many people would you need around you to generate the content that you have now, and the business model behind you, and even like say the back office? You've got that sort of franchise element there to help you, but ultimately you're a one-man band, which 20 years ago would have required at least 10 people to generate the content that you do now.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. Hence the reason that, 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to make any kind of TV or video, you had to go via BBC ITV things. Whereas nowadays, anyone with a phone can upload something to YouTube and potentially become famous, or just something get sent out there. And it's become a lot easier to do, which does mean there's more competition. But I thought that there'd be more travel agents doing like Disney stuff, and there's a lot of Disney influencers and bloggers and things like that. And there's people who've got like 5-6 million subscribers on YouTube and that, but there's not really that many travel agents. They work with travel agents like in America, and especially in the UK, no one is touching YouTube. And if I can make a video on YouTube on my own, upload it, run Google adverts, run YouTube advertising to run it around the similar kind of one, so people are watching a video about Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then my one kind of pops up halfway through, and then the one, I'm pretty much one of the only kind of British voices kind of like you're going to find a video of, so instinctively you're going to be like, it's a British guy doing it, and that, and then if you get to the bit where I kind of explain for like 2 or 3 times, well, you can book with us, you know. But so kind of people get that, and then they kind of start to see more and more videos of you. Again, before YouTube, even when YouTube first started, you couldn't do this kind of stuff. You couldn't kind of create a brand for yourself. And it's, do you know, the nicest things, or the things that kind of give you the most kind of joy. It's not necessarily when like someone books. Actually, it's actually when someone says, "We've seen your YouTube video," and we were, and I had someone on the phone, and they were saying, they were umming and ahhing about the hotel, and they went, "Whichever hotel we're going to choose, we're going to book with you because we love your videos." And I was like, couldn't have done that even 10 years ago, probably. Well, maybe the technology wasn't there to kind of do it this way, or you would have had to have a whole team around you. So yeah.
Yeah. Chase, do you remember, I want to say like 2006, 2007, we used to go to an expo, and every year, it's the year of video. This year, it's the year of video. And every year it wasn't, was it?
No.
Until one year it was. And I think it was probably the culmination of the smartphone. Suddenly everyone had a video camera with them, which was high quality video camera, and ability to upload it, YouTube from there. But yeah, it's only been probably 15 years that we've had the ability to do that. And it's very interesting, Martin. Like you said, the most small business owners, they're separate from the influencer. You've got the influencer who creates the content, and you've got the business owner who sells the product, and never the twain shall meet. Like, why the hell not?
Well, we work with a couple of cruise influencers, sort of like some of the other people that I work with them. And I'm always kind of saying, like, you need to kind of like, you know, and they get a lot of leads from them, they get a lot of bookings from them, but you kind of like need to like get you to go on one of the videos and then get her to sort of like do stuff. And they're like, no, she just refers people to us. Like, no.
Yeah, we like it the way it is.
Out there. Yeah, it does also help. They both got the same name as well, so it does sound like when you say that. But yeah, it's like you want to be the brand, and also like the way I kind of look at it is that you know, if you sort of name a TV chef.
What, right now?
Yeah, name a
Greg
TV
Wallace.
Chef. Okay. He's not a chef. He's
not a good choice.
He's a venture out, isn't he? No, I don't want anyone thinking I'm Greg Wallace. Now you said it. The
okay.
AI might...
Okay, we're just doing it for the algorithm, guys. That's all.
I'm Greg Wallace.
Yeah, okay. Gordon Ramsay.
Okay, so imagine obviously Gordon Ramsay's famous from being on TV and also on Instagram and you kind of stuff. If you went to one of his restaurants and you met him and he cooked you a meal yourself, you'd be talking about that meal for the rest of your life, even if it was terrible. And I kind of want to get to that kind of point where people go, yeah, I booked with that guy off of YouTube.
Yeah.
And that, like, YouTube now, like, I remember, and again, there's something that's little kind of nuggets kind of sunk in the back of my head is, I remember speaking to a family that I booked. They went to LA and, you know, they went and did all the usual kind of things. They went to Disney, they went to Universal, they went to Hollywood and things. And the thing that the kids loved the most was they saw the houses of a couple of YouTubers. I was like, well, yeah, to them, that is like going meeting Lady Gaga or Beyonce or something. That's their kind of like thing. And like, but that's the reason that people go and buy this Prime Energy drink and Mr. Beast's chocolate bar or whatever he's got, because they want to be a part of it. And that's kind of what I'm not going to be as big as Mr. Beast. But, I want to kind of get to that thing that people want to come to you, because it almost, in a way, you can kind of then almost, you can turn people away. You can say, I don't think this is right for you. You want something we can't do. And you can kind of like create this thing of like, oh, I'm lucky. I'm booking with this guy who knows so much, as opposed to Brenda down at Lum Poly, who once went to Orlando.
Lum Poly, now we're going back in the day, aren't we?
Well, I can't really say the other ones, can I? Because they might get funny about it. But you want to... we put it on the website as well, is, you might already have a travel agent who books you in that, and I'm sure she knows everything about Benidorm. But if they only went to, or if they've never been to Orlando, or they went 10 years ago, even 2 years ago, a lot has changed, and you want the best information, because you can have a good time in Orlando, or you can have an amazing time without all the things, and you get your book and all that kind of stuff that we do. And again, something else that sort of sets us apart is having a magazine book that's personalised to them, as opposed to, you can buy a 500-page unofficial guide to Orlando, which is really good, but one, it's very American biased, and not sure their opinions are that kind of valid after the elections and things like that. Sure we should trust their opinions and stuff. And do you really want to read 500 pages of a book to even know which hotel to book? And there's lots of information that just isn't relevant to you and your family. So kind of like try and make it so that you don't have to watch a million YouTube videos. You don't have to read a million books. You can just go the same as you would on any other holiday. You don't plan for months in advance what you're going to do when you go to Iberia style all inclusive. You just turn up, you go to the restaurant, you have a great time. That's kind of what we're trying to do.
I like it. I like that know, like, and trust piece, the piece where you're getting people to understand who you are and that they're following you. We've got a local estate agent who was possibly a semi-celebrity back in the 70s or so, but he regularly runs, he has a travel agency, as I say, he regularly runs kind of cruises, 3, maybe 4 year, which he goes on, and you kind of, you sign up and you join him, he takes you away and you have a fabulous time. He gets very drunk, you too, you enjoy yourselves too. But that's, and he's got this, group of people who follow him, and they say, right, we're going to do this. And he said, yeah, we are, I'm in with you. And that's really good. But that's kind of without the YouTube bit, he hasn't never done that, but really, really interesting, and it's quite good, because then when you've got those fanatical fans that follow you, kind of thing, the rest of your days are quite easy, aren't they?
Yeah, I think is it Super Fans, the book?
Yeah, Pat Flynn.
Yeah. About you don't need to have a million followers and things like that. You just need 1,000 people who actually know, like, and trust you, want to be, and you can have an amazing business. I don't even need 1,000 to be honest, less than that. And you can have a brilliant lifestyle. And I don't want to be big. I don't want to be, have high street stores and things like that. I want to be of a reasonable size. It's still manageable. That I can have a small team who are good at what they do, and will give the same sort of level of service and things that I would give. So, yeah, that's the plan. That's the eventual plan and then I can do almost a false exit.
There we go. We've almost ticked off all the books there. I like that. I like the way you've done that, Martin.
I think of a big idea.
So I'm going to move on to just have a quick look at that improving, because lots of small business owners get stuck in the weeds of getting to do, don't get the opportunity to step back and reflect. You reflect weekly about how to improve and to get your business a bit better and stuff like that. And a lot of that's done via automation and finding one area of the business that you can do something with, and spend a little bit of time just improving that and making that a little bit easier for you. And again, most business owners don't get that opportunity to sit back, reflect what they're doing, why they're doing it, and is there an easier way of doing it? And that's something that is providing you with lots of dividends. So I know we've covered it a little bit in this episode so far, but can we get a little bit deeper into that, just to help that, as I say, lots of our listeners really who find that who won't make that time to make those improvements in order to, or make it easier for themselves in order to be able to free up some of that time to go and enjoy Disney Park in the afternoon, for example.
I think, to be honest, the most valuable time of my week is when I'm sat in a jacuzzi. There's a Marriott around the corner that I'm a member of. And if I kind of go during the day, especially when there's no school holidays on, because it's a hotel as well, is if I go during the day, I'm pretty much the only person sat in the jacuzzi. So it's great. And I basically sit there and let my mind wander. And I get more out of that. Basically, most of the time, I then come and have a one-to-one with you afterwards and then basically just splurge all the stuff that I thought of while I sat in the jacuzzi. So I'm just sat there thinking, if I did this, if I did that and that. And I get, if you don't step back from something, like if you were a firefighter and you were at a blaze and you could only see one room was on fire, but you didn't realize the entire house was on fire, you'd think you can't see the rest of what's going on. You have to kind of step back. And I find that's the most valuable hour of the week. Is sat in a jacuzzi going, but change the wording of this, maybe do that, whatever. Because you give your brain that kind of freedom and that time to go and just think about what's working, what's not working, where an improvement can come from. And I think that's more important than an extra hour sat in front of doing whatever you would normally do in front of a computer. Having that break, you need to have time.
I love that analogy because business owners are always firefighting, and that's one of the things I hear. Oh, busy firefighting, didn't have time to do that. And actually use that analogy is really good. Once you fought that fire, if you don't have that debrief and work out what went wrong and how you're going to improve it next time, how you can do better, how you can put the fire out quicker, how you can use less water, how you need less resources to do something, unless you have that moment of debrief, that's it. You're always going to be fighting that same fire all the time. It's going to catch light again, and you're going to follow it through. So I love that firefighting analogy.
You can use it. I just made it up on the spot. You can use that one.
Thanks very much. I'm going to keep that one. That's great.
Yeah, it's that hour in the jacuzzi that enables you to do a little bit of fire prevention work. That 6 months from now means you aren't fighting fires, and I get it. It's it's really difficult when you are fighting fires all the time. To say, just take some time out, just let the fires burn and work on your business, not in your business. But at the end of the day, the reason you're putting out fires today is because you didn't do fire prevention work yesterday. So there is no easy answer other than you've got to do both. Put the fires out, or at least dampen them down, and then do some fire prevention work. Then let's plan some improvements. And we always talk about 1% improvements, and literally that's all you need to do. You don't need to go from the house burning down to the house being completely fireproof. You just need to put a sprinkler system in. Make sure the hose works. Make sure the bucket hasn't got a hole in it. Make sure there's some sand available. Just do something that means next week is a little easier than this week.
Yeah, I mean, when I think back to even probably 6-7 months ago, like how much work I was doing and how much just like, for example, the social media automation tool that Jace literally just mentioned on a one-to-one, said, oh yeah, I use new links. And I went, what's that? Because I was just doing the same as everyone else. Just, you're putting stuff onto Meta, but you can only put it on a month in advance. And then you kind of had to have a plan as to when it was going to then repeat and that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, it's just taking up like 10 hours a week, 10 hours a month, planning it out. Whereas now I've scheduled it like a year's worth of content. Okay, it took about a week to do, but I'm not going to have to touch it. Like, you can put in, I never put on prices and things like that because I was kind of thinking you're basically anchoring the chance of someone wanting to go on this precise day, whatever. So I never put any prices on anything anyway. So it's all evergreen. Again, unless that hotel burns down. Maybe the hotel manager wasn't doing any fire prevention. But yeah, having that kind of automation frees up that time to then be able to then spend that hour in the jacuzzi to then come up with even better stuff that you can then either reduce the amount of time that you work, or the time you are doing, just making it better. And without really kind of like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just a little change. So like Loom, for example. Like, I started using Loom after you sent me a Loom video, and I was like, this is so much bloody easier than sitting there writing an email out. And I show it to people, and they go, that's really good, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. And I went, do you not speak to people? Yeah, I speak to them on the phone. I went, It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit and write out a long email that they won't read? Loom's great because I can tell if someone's watched the video and how many times they watched the video. It comes from the stats and that. But again, it's that you build that know, like, and trust. If they've seen me on YouTube, then they speak to me on the phone, and then they get a personalised video from me. Like, it's not that it's not that is going to be the thing that like pushes them over the edge to book with me. But if that improves me 1%, gets me 1% closer, and I do 20 things that get me 1% closer, then I'm a lot closer to getting people to book with me than I was 20 steps ago. So, but again, Loom saves me so much time.
Yeah.
I use Haybase now to put all the information as opposed to sending it as a PDF. It's a website. It just goes on. Then you can put in YouTube videos and things like that, and it just looks so much more professional. But I have templates that literally I can put together a quote in seconds, and that. But it looks like I've taken a long time because there's an entire website just for me. That's just great,
and it's professional.
Yeah,
on brand. Martin, we've called you serial implementer, prolific content generator. What I think really stands out for me is you have achieved so much, and almost everything we have talked about today is marketing. You are the marketer of a travel company. You don't run a travel business. You are the marketer of a travel business. And I think a lot of the business owners we speak to that say they haven't got time to do anything are running their business. They're not the marketer of their business. And you remind me of Red Bull. So not just that you give us wings, but Red Bull famously said, and this was the founder, Dietrich Mateschitz, I believe he's called, who said, we are a marketing company that happens to make drinks. So he was faced with the choice of needing to scale up, needing to outsource. So we can either outsource the marketing, which is what most companies would do. And he said, no, we're a marketing company. We'll do the marketing. We'll outsource the making of the drink.
Yeah.
So Red Bull is made by someone else, and then Red Bull market it. And that's completely the polar opposite of what most people would do.
To me, I always kind of think that Apple is a marketing company that happens to sell technology. They could pretty much sell you anything. They're very good at advertising. And they obviously make products and things that they just happen to sell technology. But yeah, I kind of think, well, if you don't have marketing, you don't have any leads. Where are you getting anything from? And when people always sort of say, oh, it's a bit quiet this month and that, and what are people doing? And they kind of come up with the usual things of, have you thought about, or they say like, I'm thinking about doing a flyer drop in my local area. Has anyone tried that before? Does it work? And then people go, oh yeah, I tried it before, it didn't work. Or yeah, I tried it, got a little bit. And I go, well, what else are you going to do? Because one flyer through my door is not going to convince me.
Yeah.
And that there's a reason why Domino's Pizza is, even though it doesn't taste that great, is probably the number one selling pizza in the UK, is because you get a flyer in your door every 2 weeks. They're constantly on TV. They're very good at social media, to be fair, as well. It's the marketing, and probably the reason why their pizzas are more expensive than other places is the amount of marketing cost is probably so high.
Yeah.
So you're paying to watch the advert.
Yeah, if you're asking whether leaflet drops work, you just need to look at it and say, why are DFS and Domino's Pizza still in business if it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Why are they still doing it if it doesn't work?
It only works if you're doing loads of other things and you become that sort of. Again, when I worked at Virgin Active, I will say to people, look, it's about 12% of any one time, there's about 12% of the UK population has a gym membership. So we're after quite a niche market. The chances are, if someone has already got a gym membership, the chances of them wanting to leave, we've got to make a really good case as to why they want to leave their current gym and move over to our one. Or if someone is looking around to join a gym, we have to make a really good case as to why they're joining us. It's not that if we send out a leaflet or if we go to like a corporate event that someone is going to be, I was actually thinking about joining a gym and will come and join that day. Yeah. It's, you want to be front of mind and the first that people think of. And if you can get to that, then people literally walk in your door just coming in and saying, I want to join. I've been thinking about it for months now. And that's where you want your business to be, is that people walk through the door and say, I've seen your stuff. I can't, I got a leaflet through the door. No one's going to walk in and say, I got a leaflet through the door.
I've had a leaflet. Can I buy something, please?
It's not Neville Chamberlain with his white paper splinter. That. You're not going to get that. But I kind of think that, if you're not marketing, you might be doing fine now. And you know, people say, I don't have time for marketing. I'm too busy with, all right, well, 6 months' time when those clients have booked or can't, it depends on obviously what your business, if you've got a subscription model, then actually you might be fine with but if you've got something where you constantly have to get new people in, where are those new people coming from 6 months down the line? If you're not doing anything now, you've got to sow those seeds. There's probably a tree analogy somewhere you can come up with. What's the best time to do a marketing campaign? 6 months ago. When's the second best time? Now.
Excellent. We've reached that time where I can ask you that question. That we are the Ambitious Lifestyle Business Podcast. What does that mean to you?
I think it's the thing of you want to be able to, as John says, work when you want on what you want. Kind of butchering what you actually say, but when you want, when you want, do what you want when you want. Something like that, around those kind of lines.
We're just doing this to prove this isn't AI. It's what you want, when you want, where you want, how you want, if you want.
Best AI going. This is much better than in like Gladiator 2 or something like the sharks. But I want to be able to choose when I work, what I do, but I don't want it to be, something small. It's not a Tupperware party. It's not something you kind of do every so often. It's I can build this up and I have a good lifestyle from it. Got no ambition to become a millionaire or anything like that, or fly private jets around the world, things like that. But I want to have a nice lifestyle that if I want to go and do something, I've got enough money, I can go and do that. But, and if I'm too ambitious, then I wouldn't have the time to be able to go and do the things that I wanted to do. So I could sit here 50 hours a week and knock out 20 videos a week and do lots of stuff and things like that. Would I be happy? No. Would I be richer? Yes. But my theory of money is that as long as there's money in your account when you want to buy something, that's pretty much all you ever need, isn't it?
Perfect. And I think you have read Big Ideas for Small Businesses, another book by John Lamberton that you didn't mention earlier on, but because some of those lines were in his book. So I'm guessing you read it.
I learned from the best, you see.
Yes.
Absolutely. Remember, Phil Collins spent the same amount on that Donald Duck toy as any other member of the public, despite his millions and despite his fame. So we've all got the same hours in the week. We've all got the same things out of life.
I think he was there for a Disney event as well. I think he was there for something to do with Tarzan. So not like he even got it for free. He paid for it as well, and he was there on business. Might have obviously business expensed it. I don't know.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you ever so much for joining us, Martin. Thank you, dear listener, for joining us for another episode of the Ambitious Lifestyle Business Podcast. As always, we will be back in your ears next month with another guest on the AOB podcast. See you later.
So there we are, another episode in the can. How was it for you? Please let us know. However you listen to these podcasts, please leave a review on that platform. Let us know what we can do better, what you like, what you don't like, and how we can improve to make this show even better for you. We'll see you next time.